coaches, Nolan, hello. Thanks for taking the time again. Second game of the series, lost to the Whiskey, or Wheat City Whiskey Jacks. I always get their name mixed up. Definite vibe tonight. But before I get any questions, maybe give me your thoughts on the game. Maybe what you felt we did well, what we didn't do well, and then we'll kind of go more into specifics.
Whew. That was an up and down game. We played some pretty good defense. We left a few guys on. What we did well, we came out hot, got 2 in the first. Our relief pitching was pretty good tonight. We need to stay in the game more. Our 5th, 6th, 7th innings on offense we're struggling with those innings, and we got to stay hot throughout. If we put up 2 in the first, we can't put up 4 in the second on the other side. So, you know what? We came out with some good energy, and then that we're just that momentum-based team. And as soon as they got 4, we kind of got complacent a little bit, I think.
Yeah. One thing that really stood out to me was the bats. They seemed to do fairly well again tonight, even though we didn't get as many runs. We still had a good amount of hits. We had some good at-bats as well. We had some longer counts, some 6, 7 pitch at-bats. One thing that I noticed was we couldn't be real aggressive. In the times that we tried to be aggressive, they were very aggressive back at us, getting caught stole a couple, or 1 or 2 times, I can't remember. Did that change from the first to second game? Did they play any different? Speak to me a little bit about our at-bats and our base running tonight.
You know what? Tonight we didn't have as many base runners on in the crucial times, so we couldn't make a lot happen. We wanted the right guys in the right spot, and tonight it just didn't work out a couple times. We get a guy on, and we go down looking, or have a tough AB or quality at bat, and then go down swinging. But it was just a different vibe tonight. We couldn't be as aggressive. We just didn't have the right guys in the right spot and the right counts. Last night worked out really well for us. Tonight it was a different game, and we had to be a little more cautious on the bags because we needed to come back. We were playing catch-up ball really today instead of, motor on. So,
talk a lot about momentum, and we'll probably bring this up every interview. Did it feel at any point in the time that we had the momentum in this game? Because like you said, it felt like we were playing catch-up all game. Was there a time where you felt that we even led in momentum at all, or did you think that we just started behind and just couldn't ever catch back up?
I think we came out of the gates with full momentum after having last night's win, getting 2 runs in the first like that. I felt momentum maybe the 6th or 7th when Mass made that diving catch. I thought the game was turned around right there. The whole time I thought we were winning the game. No matter how far we were down, I thought we were going to win that game tonight.
Coach May, maybe talk to me a little bit about pitching. I know Ryan had a great starting pitching starting appearance yesterday. It seemed that Adrian was struggling a little bit. Did you speak to him at all? What were his thoughts on his performance given the circumstances tonight?
First, he was disappointed in it. It's understandable. He didn't throw as well as he wanted to. I think the one thing got to limit his 3-ball counts, and got to start throwing his best pitch in his counts. I think a lot of times he threw his second best pitch, and probably not the best situation. And those balls got hit kind of hard in that. And so that's something you got to learn and develop as a pitcher. Is not just be a thrower, just go out there and pitch. And so it's something we talked about. Also trying to develop a new pitch, trying to get something to keep him off balance, because I feel like he was very predictable up there. And that's something we just got to work on going forward.
Very cool. One thing that we took from you, Coach, I don't know if you paid attention or not, but we, even on social media and on our PA reads, we say first strike now from you. And it really kind of starts that momentum. Do you feel like we had that first strike mentality tonight? And did we battle back? I know you said 3-0 counts, or 3-ball counts a lot. Do you feel like we had that kind of mentality going into tonight?
I definitely do. Adrian's a worker. He's a thinker as well, but he is first and foremost a worker. And I think his mindset is always to try to get ahead so he can use his off-speed stuff to try to get guys out later in counts. I think he might have got hit around a little bit early and tried to go from that. And then, but as a pitcher, you got to know what's your best stuff you got to stick with it and then let the defense work behind you. And so I think he did have that mindset going forward. Kind of shifted a little bit, but he tried to get back in it. He kept us in it as long as he could, and then we just had to go to another guy for pitch count reasons.
13 strikeouts tonight with the bats. Despite the heavy amount of runs scored, what does strikeouts mean for lost opportunities, especially with guys left on base?
It's crucial. I mean, you know, there was one inning I think we had a guy on second and third we struck out 2 times and then popped out, I believe, and that's just, we're a momentum-based team like Thomas said, and that hurts, you know. And that's when we're trying to claw back, that's a dagger sometimes. So we were clawing back all game, and that wasn't helping when we were going down swinging.
Nolan, you have a different angle from the game up here in the press box at home rather than being in the dugout. Was there anything that you could see maybe from an outsider not in the dugout that could have hindered the team's performance today?
Not necessarily anything different from up here, but it felt like it was kind of a flip reversal from last night where, you know, they walked a handful of guys and that led to a 4-run victory last night. I felt like we walked and allowed a few too many guys to reach base, not via a hit, and that was the difference in the ballgame. You know, we hit the ball fairly well, I thought, tonight, and sometimes you just don't get, you know, you got guys on, but with 2 outs, you can't manufacture. But without the walks, you know, it makes it tougher. But I think 7 runs from our offense they still hit the ball really well. The difference tonight between 7 and 10 runs was they limited their walks. They threw better out of the pen tonight, and I think that was really the difference in the game was the amount of walks early in the ballgame.
Exiting last night in last night's interview, you talked about coming into today's game having more energy. Did you feel that tonight?
I do, 100%. Our guys got here early. They were ready to go, and so I definitely think the energy was there. First and foremost, it was, and then secondly, I will say, even if we get down, I feel like our energy level stays there. If not, goes up now. We got a good group of guys right now, and they're all playing for each other, and so a lot of things have just happened within the team, just positive, negative, but they're battling together, and they're keeping that energy.
Rubber match tomorrow after a loss tonight. Does the strategy change at all?
No, we're going to be aggressive. So we're going to stick to what our guns is, and we're going to come out and try to put on a show for these fans.
Mark, you got anything?
Yeah, one more. I was just looking at our lineup from yesterday and today. Very similar. I mean, very, very slight differences. Are you seeing that the recipe's starting to work for you? I mean, we out-hit the Weed City team. Obviously, we didn't score as many runs, but it looks like it's starting to come together, especially on the offensive side. Is that something now that you guys kind of think that you're very comfortable with?
Yeah, like he stated a while back, we're starting to get all our guys in, and I think our pitchers are seeing that, and we're getting usually around the same 9 out there on the field.
Right.
So they're starting to get more comfortable, and these guys are playing well together. They meshed it well, so it works out.
I have one final, or maybe a couple more, but I got one I definitely want to throw in here. We've seen Jacob Newman twice on the mound. But first time got himself into the jam, but he got out of it with no runs. And this time had 3 batters, got them all 3 outs. Or I'm sorry, he had 4 batters, but then it got 3 out, no runs again. What have you seen out of Jacob that maybe we all didn't really see coming into the summer?
Jacob's a workhorse, man. He'll play whatever. Obviously, you've seen that throughout the season already, but he wants to play. He loves being in the spotlight, and he's a battler. I mean, he's going to go up there and battle and do his best, and he'll do it any time. That's the greatest thing about him, and that's what good players do. They come in and compete in any situation.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know if you can answer this, maybe could we see more of him in the future?
Yeah, you will. One thing we always stated since the first meeting, the best thing you can do is be a compliment to your teammate, and that's what he is. He does whatever it takes. I mean, when we first got here, he was catching bullpens.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really know he'd have a shot out here on the field, and then that shot came, and then he just thrived. And then the next shot came, and so he's always that guy. Good things happen to people that work hard, and I think he's kind of living that right now.
Sure.
On the topic of Newman, although he's pitched 2 scoreless innings, it seems when there are balls or walks, all of his pitches are missing high. Is there anything that, coaching-wise, and Nolan, maybe you could speak to this as well, that could maybe lower his pitch and to throw more strikes into the zone?
Yeah, there's a couple things we could possibly do for him. I know it's been a while since he's been on the mound, And so it's kind of got to go slow with him right now, just because he's coming off an injury and he hasn't been on the mound. But as he gets more time on the mound, that'll start to happen, and his velo will start to jump, breaking ball spin a little more. And so just being patient with him, but just giving him mental advice right now on the side and little things, because we don't really have a lot of practice since we play a lot. So he's not able to necessarily come out and throw bullpens and do all that extra stuff. But just mental notes on the side is what's happening right now.
Cool. I guess I have one final question. Definitely felt some frustrations towards the end of the game. Some calls didn't really go our way. Did you have a word with the umpires? Were they giving their side of the story? Maybe give a little bit of eyes for that for our fans.
So it's not necessarily them giving them a side of their side of the story.
Sure.
It's more of an overall view, just to look, and the calls were kind of bad both ways, and it's just something we've been dealing with for a while, and it's just getting frustrating. And so I try to keep my highest respect towards them because they're doing a job as well. But sometimes things just get a little heated, and want to say that I hope that the umpiring just gets better. So.
Very cool. Thank you for the perspective. It's sometimes hard to see it as a fan and as someone up in the press box, so thank you for that. Tomorrow, 5:30, earlier game. Do you have a plan to kind of get these guys going up and at it early? How are you going to try and get these guys going quicker, unlike the 7 o'clock games?
Well, lately, even on road trips, we've been getting them up early, running as a team, jogging, going to the gym, doing little stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing that's really helping our team. But as tomorrow, we understand, and they understand that we got to stop sleeping in. We got to stop. And being a high-level baseball player, you have a job to do. You wake up early, you do your job, and when you get done with that job, you should be so tired you go home and go to sleep. And so these guys are starting to see that their job is to play baseball here, and so they're going to be up early at it. We're going to get them here early, ground balls, get them in the cage, hitting a little bit, moving around, so they're just not moving around and getting here late. So.
Awesome. That's it for me. You guys have any questions?
Just wanted to touch on one more thing. New guy, Ty Styles, how are we feeling about him? Just a quick little in here, so.
I talked to his coach the other day when he asked me if I had a spot for him, and he told me he's a hard-nosed player, and he said he's going to be a guy that you'll love to coach. I love to coach that kid.
Yeah.
He's a great kid. He's a great ball player, but he's a better person off the field. And I mean, the kid says thank you. I always say 2 most important words in life are thank you. He says it all the time. So he's a great kid.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you guys again for your time.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank all the fans for coming out as well.
Yep.